Every trader has felt that moment. You take a loss, you stare at the screen, and within seconds you feel something switch inside of you. Your chest tightens, your vision narrows, and within seconds you're looking for another trade just because you want to make it back. And even though a part of you probably knows that you shouldn't click buy or sell, you do it anyways. That's revenge trading. And it's not just because you're undisciplined or weak, it's because your biology and psychology are reacting to that loss in ways that you probably didn't even imagine. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the actual science behind what happens in your brain the moment you lose and how to stop the revenge cycle before it even starts. When you take a loss, especially a painful one, your amygdala, the threat detector in your brain, fires instantly. Your brain reads that loss as danger. So it triggers fight or flight, elevated heart rate, tunnel vision, and specifically reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain responsible for logic and decision making. This means that when you revenge trade, you are literally doing it with the part of your brain responsible for discipline. So remember that it's not a mental weakness, it's a biological hijack. Humans feel losses about twice as intensely as wins, so when you lose, your brain isn't trying to make money back, it's trying to eliminate the pain. Your subconscious mindset becomes, I need to get back to break even right now. And this is where revenge trade starts, not from greed, but from pain avoidance. So you're not trading to win, you're trading to stop hurting. Now, trading is a dopamine-rich activity, and when your trade fails, your dopamine collapses hard, and your brain hates dopamine dips. So what does it try to do? It tries to escape these instantly. And the fastest way to get that dopamine hit is by placing another trade. That impulse to get back in right now is not strategy, it's not intuition, it's a neurochemical craving. And it all happens because your brain is desperately trying to repair the dopamine crash from the loss. Now there's a deeper layer to this because as traders, our performance becomes tied to our identity. So every loss can feel like I'm missing something or I'm not who I thought I was as a trader. And this identity wound can be painful. So your ego tries to patch the hole by forcing a win. And this is why revenge trading happens almost instantly. Because your ego is trying to protect the identity that you've built around trading. So how do we break this revenge loop? We need to interrupt our fight or flight. So you can't out-discipline a fight or flight response, you have to interrupt it. So we can do things such as focusing on our breathing by inhaling through your nose, taking a second shorter inhale and a long slow exhale. Because this resets your nervous system and reactivates your prefrontal cortex within seconds. So do this immediately after you take a loss. Now the next thing that we need to do is build pre-commitment rules, because you need rules designed before you're emotional that automatically apply when you are. So some examples of these include a mandatory 5 to 10 minute timer after every loss. Meaning if you take a loss, you have to set that timer and you have to follow that set amount of time before you're even allowed to look back at the charts. And next is a set amount of trades coming into the day. So this means if you take, it might even be one loss. If you take one trade and no matter the outcome, you cannot come back onto the charts. You have to close that computer and you have to come back the next day. Because these are rules, like I said, designed before we're emotional, so we know exactly what we need to follow coming into the trading day. And the last one is if you feel your heart rate spike, just simply step away. It is so easy to get wrapped up in wanting to keep pressing buy or sell, but that is arguably the worst thing that we can do in these scenarios. So just remember that these aren't discipline tools, these are circuit breakers that protect you from emotional response. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to stabilize our dopamine. So after a loss, we need to stand up, we need to move our body, we need to drink some water, and we need to have some slow, concentrated breathing. This is going to sound super cheesy and it's like stuff you've heard from elementary school, but these are all scientifically backed things that will improve your psychology. And we need to understand that our movement increases our baseline dopamine, our water signals safety, and breathing calms our amygdala. So this is going to kill the chemical urge to jump back in. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to detach identity from the outcome, because the real mastery comes from separating you from the trade. So you need to remember that a loss is not a reflection of your intelligence, your future, your identity, your potential. It is one outcome in a probabilistic system. So now my only actionable tip within this topic is to say this one thing after a loss. It's simple, but it works. Nothing about this one trade defines who I am. Because this will reset your ego and remove the emotional urgency to fix your identity with a win. Now my last tip on this whole topic is that we need to reinforce behavior, not wins. If you end the day, your P&L does not matter. It does not matter if your dollar amount is negative or positive. What matters is if you followed your rules, if you stopped when you said you were, etc. Because P&L does not define who you are as a trader. What is ultimately going to define who you are as a trader in the long run is if you can stick to all of your rules. And what this is going to do is it's going to rewire your brain to value discipline over dopamine. And once that shift happens, revenge trading will never happen again. So remember that revenge trading is not about being weak. It is literally your nervous system trying to protect you from pain, dopamine withdrawal, and ego damage. And I hope you guys like this video, and make sure to drop a comment with any suggestions that you have of any psychology topic that you'd like me to cover next. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.